short fiction. By Vladimir Korolenko. Translated by Aline Delano, Sergius Stepniak, William Westall, Thomas Seltzer, Marion Fell, Clarence Manning, and the Russian Review. Easter night. It was Holy Saturday in 188. Evening had long since enfolded the silent earth. The ground, warm during the day by the rays of the sun, was now cooling beneath the invigorating influence of the night frost. It seemed like one sighing while its breath, forming a silvery mist, rose glistening in the rays of the starlit sky, like clouds of incense to greet the approaching holiday. All was still. In the cool night breeze, the small provincial town of N stood silent, waiting to hear the first stroke of the bell from the high cathedral tower. But the town was not sleeping. A spirit of expectancy brooded beneath the veil of darkness, breathing through the shadows of the silent and deserted streets. Now and then a belated workman, who had but just escaped from his servile task ere the holiday began, passed, hurrying on his way. Once in a while a drosky rattled by, leaving silence behind it. Life had fled indoors and hidden itself, in palace and hovel, from whose windows the light shone far out upon the street, while over the city and the fields hovered the spirit of resurrection. Although the moon stood high above the horizon, the town still rested in the broad, deep shadow of a hill, crowned by a gloomy and massive edifice, whose peculiarly straight and severe outlines were sharply defined in the golden ether. The somber gates were hardly to be distinguished amid the gloom of its deeply shadowed walls, while the towers on the four corners stood out boldly against the azure sky, and gradually over all the moon poured its flood of liquid gold. Suddenly, on the sensitive air of the expectant night, came the first stroke from the high cathedral belfry, then another and still another. A minute later, and the whole air throbbed and swelled, as the countless bells rang out, uniting in one harmonious peal. From the gloomy building overshadowing the town there came a faint, broken harmony that seemed to flutter helplessly in the air, and thence to rise into the ethereal light and join the mighty chord. The singing ceased, the sounds dissolved in air, and the silence of the night gradually resumed its sway. A faint echo seemed to hover for a while, like the vibration of an invisible harp string. Now the fires were gradually extinguished, the church windows shone forth brightly, and the earth seemed ready to proclaim once more the old tidings of peace, love, and goodwill. The bolts of the dark gates in the gloomy building creaked, and a band of soldiers with clanking arms sallied forth to relieve the night sentinels. On approaching the corners they would halt, and a dark...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?